Hi, and welcome back to my channel. It's been another hectic week in the stock market, particularly with Bitcoin, and that will be the focus of today's video. But first, we're going to talk about my portfolio performance over the past week and really over the past few months, and we will wrap up talking about all of the different stocks in my portfolio and the performance on those. As we can see on the day, down about $300, not terrible, just under 1% worth of movement. Over the past week, up 7%, which is great to see. Past month, up 33% or $8,000, up $15,000 over the past 3 months. Over the past year now, up 152%. That is spectacular. I could not be happier. All time now, we can see that total is just a bit higher. Now I'm up $19,958.36, or just under 161%. As I mentioned, I was down on the day, and previous to those losses, I did reach $20,000 in earned income on this portfolio for the first time ever today. That was just amazing to see. And really, I think it's just the start of this portfolio. I say it every week, but I'm very happy looking forward to the future. And I think there's a lot to be looking forward to, particularly in my portfolio. If we look at my all-time now, we can see total investment is now $12,400. I did purchase another $200 worth of stock, and I did deposit another $200 into the portfolio. So the first move I made was 2 more shares of Pfizer. Those 2 shares were $34.72 apiece for a total cost of $69.44. We will talk about Pfizer a little bit later here in the video. Next, I purchased 2 more shares of SPHD, which is the largest stock in my portfolio, or rather the largest ETF in my portfolio. Purchased 2 shares there at $39.72 for a total cost of $79.44. Now have 42 shares of SPHD. And last but certainly not least, I purchased $100 more Bitcoin. Quantity there was 0.00209. The price was $47,775.62. Certainly a lot higher than I have been paying, but the price continues to go up. And right now we're going to talk about where Bitcoin is standing. At the moment, it is just over $50,000. First, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you want to see next. I promise I've got new high-quality content coming out here soon. We have an article from fxstreet.com. They're talking about the next potential price prediction for Bitcoin, as Bitcoin did peak over $50,000 this week for the first time ever. So it says Bitcoin remains on the front foot despite the latest dribbling around the record top of $52,638 during early Thursday. In doing so, the Bitcoin to US dollar pair keeps the previous day's upside break of short-term key resistance line while extending run up beyond 61.8%. On the Fibonacci expansion. That's not something that I typically look at. I have sort of dabbled with it. I've looked at it in the past, but I don't totally understand it. A lot of these people that are great statisticians and really good at looking at these analytics believe in that Fibonacci number. So we can see from November 26th, 2020 to January 8th, 2021, upside and following pullback to 28,768 on January 22nd. It says also favoring the cryptocurrency buyers is the quote successful run up beyond the 10-day SMA amid the bullish MACD. Again, not entirely sure of these acronyms. It's very, very complicated. If you know a little bit more about this, I would be very interested to hear, so let me know in the comments. As a result, the Bitcoin to US dollar prices are well directed towards the next FE resistance level of 100% around 54,500, ahead of targeting the $55,000 round figure. It says, meanwhile, the $50,000 psychological magnet precedes the previous resistance line at 49,700 to restrict the short-term downside moves. This is an interesting point. Basically, the math that a lot of these people had done said that the resistance line was 49,700. But I think for a lot of people, that $50,000 mark is really more important just because, as they mentioned, it's a psychological factor. It's a nice round number, and for the first time ever, Bitcoin did break that $50,000 mark. So overall, the Bitcoin bull run has a long way to go before hitting the wall, wherein the $54,500 hurdle can satisfy buyers for now. Definitely interesting. As I mentioned, if you know a little bit more about this or are curious, please let me know in the comments, and I will definitely do some more research and have some more content geared towards Bitcoin in the future. First holding today is going to be PowerShares S&P 500 High Dividend Low Volatility ETF. As I mentioned, I did purchase 2 more shares of this ETF. I've been extremely pleased with its performance over the last year plus. So we can see total return is only up $123.15, or about 8%. But as I always like to point out, the dividend yield here is very high, just under 5%. So on the day, not much movement. Past week, we can see up about 1%. Past month, up 2.5%. 3 months, up 7%. The last year is where it gets very interesting because it is still down 8% over the past year. The reason that that's particularly interesting is that we can see it was trading for $43, and I was able to purchase some shares down here at $25, even in this range down in the low $30. So if we look at just the year, it looks like not very good performance at all. But again, when you couple the dividend with the decent growth since that pullback last March, it has been a very good holding for me. And over the past 5 years, still up about 21%, and that does not include that 5% dividend yield. Very happy with it, but let me know what you think down in the comments. Next up, we have Realty Income, which is the largest REIT in my portfolio. The total return is $42.27, or about 4.5%. Again, I really like this one because of the dividend yield. Just a tiny bit lower here at about 4.5%. Over the past week, we can see down 2%. Past month, up 6%. 3 months, down a smidge. Over the past year, still down about 24%, and 5 years now, only up 2%. Real estate has continued to struggle since the outset of this pandemic. That being said, I think there's a lot of room because of these dividends. There's a lot of room to make money because the dividend is so strong in a company like Realty Income, or rather a REIT like Realty Income. And if you'd bought down here of April of last year about $43, $45, you'd have seen 25% growth plus a very strong dividend. That's really why I like this. And it is much lower risk than some of the other holdings in my portfolio. Walmart is always a very interesting stock. The performance has been pretty good for me. We can see down a considerable amount on the day. That's because Walmart did miss their earnings expectations. That being said, there was news that Walmart is going to raise their minimum wage for employees to $13 an hour, anywhere from $13 to $19 per hour, depending on the store. Obviously, labor unions were very happy about that. Shareholders not so happy, as well as them missing their earnings expectations. Not a great day for Walmart. We can see still pretty strong earnings here. $1.39 a share instead of $1.50 a share. Not a huge deal. We can see a pretty decent upward growth in the earnings category. Over the past week, down 5%. Month, down 3.5%. 3 months, down 8%. Past year, still up about 15%. And 5 years now, up 107%. Again, we can see a decent dividend yield here at about 1.5%. But Walmart, you're looking for slow, consistent growth. And that's what I've seen from Walmart. And that's why I will be continuing to purchase shares of Walmart. JNK is the only bond ETF in my portfolio. I've mentioned this one quite a bit as of recent because the Bitcoin holding in my portfolio is so large. I'm trying to offset that with much safer options that are much less volatile. And of course, a bond ETF is a great way to do that. So we can see total return, as I mentioned, is up about 6.5%, which is pretty good considering that this is a bond ETF. Over the past week, almost no movement. Past month, less than 0.5%. 3 months, up 2.25%. Past year, down about 0.6%, and 5 years, up about 14%. Again, when we look here, the big deal is going to be the dividend yield. Very high dividend, very low growth in terms of the share prices. That's what you're paying for here, is slow, consistent growth. And I'm very happy with the slow, consistent growth that I've seen from this bond ETF so far. Let me know what you think about this or bond ETFs in general down in the comments. Last stock for today is going to be Pfizer, trading for $34.54. I am down about 10.5% on this one. Pfizer's been all over the place as of recent, and I think it's definitely a stock to watch. Over the past week, up 0.3%. Over the past month, down 6%. 3 months, down about 5.5%. Over the past year, pretty flat, and 5 years now only up about 17%. Decent dividend yield here. Of course, a lot of Pfizer's success is going to hinge on the effectiveness and rollout of the vaccine. A lot of question marks still to be answered here, but I like the price at just under $35. It's very affordable, especially for the weekly investing that I'm doing. And with that decent dividend, it's going to be another way to sort of even out my portfolio. Just like every single one of my videos, we're going to end things off by talking about my Bitcoin holding. Total return is now up $15,550 or 156%. Total cost $99.43.49. Obviously, that is tremendous. Can't say it any other way. It is just amazing. Bitcoin now makes up about 70% of my portfolio. Definitely not what I would have expected going back even 2 to 3 months, but no complaints here. So over the past week, we can see that Bitcoin is up about 9%, and that's even with a little bit of a pullback. Here it was up almost 11% on the week and peaked just over $52,000, which is insane. Over the past month, up 41%. 3 months, up 190%. Over the past year, up 406%. And 5 years now, up $12,700. Now, for those of you who have been watching my channel for even the past year, you know that I have held Bitcoin in my portfolio over that time period, but I have made a lot of purchases as of late. So here, when Bitcoin did dip down here, I believe it was actually about $4,000 as of last March. I was able to purchase a little bit of Bitcoin, but at that time it just wasn't feasible to purchase more, unfortunately. Obviously, the returns there would have been enormous. So my average cost is up now to about $20,133. But with this kind of growth as quickly as I've had it, no complaints here. Let me know what you think about Bitcoin down in the comments. But the plan here is to continue holding this Bitcoin until December of this year, at which point I'll sell. But that is a long way away, and there's a lot that can happen between now and then. Thanks for watching to the end of the video, and I'll be back with another one next week.